Once a student has A, D, and E down, or at least once they've got them to about 60–70% of being able to slug their way through some songs, or sometimes, if the student is absolutely not making progress, I will introduce them to a G chord. So those three chords that we teach, A, D, and E, are part of what we call a chord group. Now, its official musical name is a 1–4–5 chord progression, which sounds very fancy. And we call it a chord group because just like a group of friends works well together, those three chords blend and work well together. If you can blend them, you can access literally hundreds of songs. So here's what I'll do is I'll teach them a G chord. As soon as that student's either stuck, A, D, and E sucks. Usually they hate the D chord. I can't switch to the D chord. It hates me, and I hate it too. The good news is, even though we're showing you three new chords, two of them aren't new. You already know how to play D. You already know how to play A. We're just going to show you how to play the G chord. Here we're going to run into a little bit of, not controversy necessarily, but a little bit of difference of opinion on how is the proper way to play a G chord. You'll see a lot of people still play a G chord like this. I call it the Birdie Fingering G, where your middle finger is the one that's closest to your face. When I moved from my little town in Arizona to college, my neighbor, he said, it'd be better if you play your G chord like this, using these three fingers and freeing up the pointer finger. Sure enough, he showed me, and I believe it. Because watch how easy it is to switch to a C chord. Now, if you don't know what a C chord is or what we're even talking about, that's okay. But there are lots of you who are watching this who say, what? Well, I learned my G chord with my middle finger like that, and now he wants me to change. Oh. You don't have to change. But if you're coming to me off the street, I'd show you this way. So let's talk about the fingering. On the third fret of the low E string is your ring finger. Second fret of the A string is your middle finger. Open D, open G, open B, and then finally your pinky playing the high E string, third fret. That frees up your pointer finger. It's not doing anything. That kind of freaks people out sometimes. I'm using my pinky. I'm not using my strongest finger. What do I do, David? What do I do? And I say, breathe. Just breathe. Get centered. Breathe. Oh, that's so much better. I thought I was going to faint. So, there's the G chord. Now, again, once you can start to play a G chord by itself, do the little concert thing you did in your room. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the concert I just gave on those three songs using A, D, and E. But I'm going to try something new. I'm going to branch out. I'm going to play for you now a G chord. You finger the chord. There's a dead guy. Fix any dead note that might be there. Dead guy. Fix it. Check it for dead guys. If they're all ringing, they give it a big strum. Mute the string. Do this. You'll probably have some new baby skin on your pinky that you haven't used before. And then finger it again. Do that for 5 minutes a day. I call that flirting with a chord, where you're just kind of getting to know the chord. You kind of, just sing each other a little bit. You're just flirting. Not really even dating. Not really even going to coffee or hot chocolate. You're just kind of chatting. Oh, hi, G chord. How are you? Oh, how are you? Oh, I'm great. Yeah. So flirt with that G chord as you're still mastering the A, D, and E chords. Once you're ready to start blending the G chord into the other chords, into the D chord and the A chord, then we should probably talk about the biggest transition switch you're going to have for a while. And it's transitioning or moving from your D chord to your G chord. Play a D chord. Now, to switch to the G chord, some interesting things have to happen. First of all, your pinky needs to go down. Now, when I say super slow motion, I'm talking about, remember how they have the old 1950s footage of like 1,000,000 frames a second, that bullet's hitting the apple about this fast? That's how slow I want you to switch at first. So play your D chord, put your pinky down, take your pointer finger off, and then these two fingers, the middle finger and the ring finger, or fingers 2 and 3, are going to fly across the neck to land in their resting place of the G chord. So I'm going to review those steps again. First of all, play D chord, and then put your pinky down. Now, that, by the way, is actually a chord. That's a chord called Dsus4, a Dsus4 chord. You can now say that you know 5 chords. You know D, A, E, G, and Dsus4. So D, pinky goes down, that's Dsus4. Pointer finger comes off, and then that frees these two fingers to come flying across the neck. And when I say flying, think of jet fighters in formation, right? just following each other right across the neck. A lot of people try to do this. They'll bring that middle finger, they'll kind of separate them out, do these weird things. You just want to keep them in the same aspect ratio to each other as they fly across the neck. Skimming the surface of the strings, almost like crop dusters over a field, right? Wonk, in place, and then go backwards. Pull them back to their original place, put the pointer finger back down, take the pinky off, and you're playing a D chord. That's something you should practice about 1 billion times. I'm not exaggerating. 1 billion times. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little, but not much. Practice that until you can't see straight, unless you can't see straight already, and then practice it until you can see straight. D to G. A chord group is chords that work well together. D, G, and A work really well together. And there are a boatload of songs that you can play if you can play a D chord blended with an A chord blended with a G chord. So maybe a good thing to do would be to play that same song we did in the first lesson, that A, D, and E song, Happy Birthday. It's actually not written necessarily in the key of A, meaning that A, D, E's are their primary chords. It's just a song, and you can play whatever chords you want to in whatever key you want to. You can do Happy Birthday in the key of D as well. And what that really means, you're going to hear that a lot, that term, the key of. That basically just means that you're centered on a specific major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But really the short version, the non-confusing version, is that you're going to be centered on a D chord. That's like your home chord. If you're in the key of D, your D chord is your kind of home base. When we teach you chords in the key of D, the chord group is D, G, A. Those are the 3 chords, but usually we start and end, most of the time, on a D chord. Starting on the A chord. Happy birthday to you. This part should go pretty fast because you already know how to play A and D. Happy birthday to you. Here comes the G switch. Happy birthday. Here comes the switch. Mr. Pinky goes down, pointer comes off. Switch. President. Happy, gonna switch back, so I'm gonna pull these guys down to the ground, pointer finger goes back on, pinky comes off. Birthday to you. D, G, and A. If you can play those 3 chords together, you can play lots and lots of songs. For example, I'll just go alphabetically off the top of my head. I see a bad moon arising. I see trouble on your way. D, G, and A, that whole song. The song by Neon Trees. Hey, baby, won't you look my way? I can be your new addiction. I found out that everybody talks too much. It started with a whisper, that was when I kissed her, etc. Here's an old Beatles song. Jojo was a man who thought she was a loner, but she was another class. All the way, now just to show you those chords, that's a pretty fast transition. A to D, A, G, D, A. Here's an old Jimmy Buffett song. Wasting away again in Margaritaville. Here's a song by Jimmy Eat World. It just takes some time, girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Here's a song by the Beatles. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. Come on, baby, now. Come on and work it on out. There are lots and lots of songs that use DGA and that's why we're trying to get you to play them in context so that you can play those chords, so that when you go and sit in with friends and they're like, hey, you play guitar, let's jam. If they throw a song at you that uses DGA, your hands will know what to do. They'll know how to respond. So again, the goal is to make D, G, and A as comfortable as can be. If you can do that, you'll be able to play pretty much any song that gets thrown at you that uses those 3 chords. And that's the goal, right? Is to interface with other people, to have fun, and hopefully be able to say, well, yes, I can play that song even though I've never played it before. Why, sure.